fitna and bala. That's the nature of the abode. And so he said, فَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَهُوَ فَضْلٌ. And that's, if you see other than that, it's the bounty of Allah. And you should be in a state of immense gratitude, because the only reason we lose the gratitude, the bounties, is because of kufran and ni'mah. That's all. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you show gratitude, and the problem is, a lot of Muslims think that gratitude is just saying Alhamdulillah wa shukru lillah. That's what they think gratitude is. Gratitude, الشكر صرف العبد ما أولاه مولاه من نعمه في رضاه كما قال الجوادي اليعقوبي Imam Muhammad Mawlud. Shukr in Matharat al-Qulub. Shukr is to use what God's given you in obedience. That's what gratitude is. There is shukr al-lisan, and that's important, but shukr al-arkan is really the true shukr. And that was the state the Prophet ﷺ was in. So when you think about this, there's one other dimension. For those of us, and most of us, I mean, if we're honest, all of us, are still out here. We should at least realize that the goal is not to get here. It's to get here. The markaz. That's the goal. It's not here. That's where too many Muslims are focused on here. When you're here, you can handle being here or here. But if you're not here, then the next best thing is the following. Ibn Ata'illah al-Iskandari, he was a great faqih, he was a Maliki faqih, and he ended up taking the path of tarbiyah with Abu al-Abbas al-Mursi, one of the great salihin of Egypt. But he was very distraught. He was in a bad state, and he went to Abu al-Abbas and he told him, and he told him, the states of man are only 4, and women. The states of humanity, there's only 4 states that you're in at any given time. You're either in ni'mah, so that's blessings, and that corresponds with regno, right? Or you're in ma'asiyah, and that corresponds with you're on your way down. Because if you're in ma'asiyah, you're in a bad state. So you're headed down. You could feel it's a ni'mah because you're enjoying it at the time, but it's not. You're headed down. Or you're in niqmah. And niqmah, we get the word muntaqim from it. Niqmah is the opposite of ni'mah. Or you're in ta'ah. And that's a hopeful state to be in. So the ni'mah, we experience joy. The ma'asiyah, it should put you, if you're a believer, into a state of fear. And fear is what leads to tawbah. Joy should lead to shukr. Niqmah this is sorrow, because when bad things happen, you become sorrowful. Niqmah should lead to sabr. Sabrun jameel, wallah al-musta'an. Right? I mean, that's basically, I mean, he's lost his son, Yusuf alayhi salam, right? And he's a prophet. So what does he do? He doesn't go into a state of faza', jaza'. He doesn't, right? And he knows they did it. But there's nothing he can do about it, because he understands this is all from God. So what does he do? Sabrun jameel, wallah al-musta'an. Beautiful patience. The ulama say beautiful patience is not to complain about the difficulties you're in. He came into Al-Quds. Is that how he came into Al-Quds? Even when they tried this guy Mubarak, you know, look at Nelson Mandela. He's not even a Muslim. When he came into power, and these are people that imprisoned him for the best years of his life, imprisoned him, put him in the worst prison, tortured him. He was tortured. Did horrible things to him. He's not even a Muslim. And when he gets into power, he has the prophetic sunnah, and what does that do? Everybody, everywhere, except the worst type of people, love Nelson Mandela. Seriously, they love him. Because he practiced the prophetic sunnah, which proves that even a non-Muslim, if he practices the prophetic sunnah, it will have the same effect on the hearts of the people. But if we're not practicing the sunnah, Allah's not going to give people, why should He give us victory? I can't find anywhere in the Quran where it says, Inna Allah ma'al muslimin. Show me in the Quran where it says, Inna Allah ma'al muslimin. Where? Who's Allah with? What's the ma'iyah with Allah? Inna Allah ma'al sabirin. Inna Allah ma'al ladina taqaw. Wa hum muhsinun. وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا مُجَاهَدَةً. That's in Ankabut. That's a Meccan surah before jihad of the sword. Those who do mujahada, in other words, struggle against themselves. وَاللَّهُ مَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah is with the muhsinin. The Prophet ﷺ, his deen, the Muslims, like Omar, when he wrote to the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, Sa'd, he said to him, you better be in a state of ta'ah, because Allah لا ينصرنا بالعدة ولا بالعدة وإنما ينصرنا بالطاعة فإذا استوينا في المعاصي نصرهم علينا. If we're the same in our disobedience, He gives them victory over us. He gives those with their kufr, He will give them victory over disobedient Muslims. Why? Because if they get victory, they're going to disgrace the religion. It's better to be oppressed than to be an oppressor. If you're not ready for power, if you're still in this thing, you're not ready to be here. Because when you get there, you're going to do what everybody does. When they get there, you're going to become the tyrant.